Welcome to Breakfast with Spaniels with Dr. Judy Morgan. Remember, you can purchase all of Dr. Morgan's products at her website at www.drjudymorgan.com. Now it's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Snow flurries in Vermont, huh? Yeah, it's a good reason not to live in Vermont. Good morning, everyone. I'm off to a slow start today. Just slow. But I actually slept last night, so that was an improvement. Today's another busy day. Did a bunch of consults yesterday. I've got a consult today. I've got an interview with Karen Becker and Rodney Habib today, talking about the study that and survey that we did with the isoxazoline drugs. So that will be an interesting and fun interview, I'm quite certain. So, but I wanted to touch base this morning about variety in your pet's meals. And it kind of hit me. You have 20 inches of snow in Western New York. It kind of hit me a couple nights ago with our dogs and also with the cats. So with the move, we had 3 freezers that we had to move with us, and we had to empty out those freezers to make the move, and we didn't want to lose a bunch of frozen food. So we managed somehow to empty all the freezers and timed it just about perfectly. We had 1 meal of meat in the freezer left for us when we moved, so that was easy to throw into the freezer and bow. And we had a little bit of my home grind frozen dog food left, but everything else we managed to use up before we left, which was great because we didn't have to worry about losing anything. So in that couple of week period in between using that up and being able to get a new shipment, thank you, Dennis from All Provide, for getting that to us this past week. Our dogs have been eating all freeze-dried food. And they love the freeze-dried. They have no problem with it. But Shayna was struggling a little bit with loose stool. She's been getting us up 2, 3, 4 times a night. She doesn't do well with changes at all. And the dogs were eating, but they were starting, when we first started it, they were like, ooh, this is something different. This is great. And they were starting to back off a little bit. And when our All Provide arrived, which our guys eat quite often, I stuck some bricks in the refrigerator to thaw out, and a day and a half later they were thawed out, and I gave the kids their All Provide. You would have thought I hit the jackpot. They were so excited. They dove into their food head first. They ate really fast, and it kind of made me realize that if you kind of get stuck in one thing, they get turned off. And think about it. So for instance, after Thanksgiving, if you had a lot of turkey leftovers by day 7, you're like, I don't want to see turkey for a long time. We do the same thing. We cook the big bone-in hams, and they're huge. So we end up with ham and bean soup and ham salad and ham meatloaf and ham everything. And by the end of 5, 6, 7 days, again, because we're having it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm like, I just don't want to eat this anymore. And I think our animals get that way too. So your pup, Joe, loves variety, takes turn eating the poop of the other three. So, yeah, it's not that the freeze-dried food itself caused the loose stool. Shayna just doesn't do well with change. So she's back on her turkey all provide, and she slept through the entire night last night. First time she hasn't gotten Hugh up multiple times in the middle of the night. So, and it's funny, that's how our Charlie was for the last 2 years of his life. The only thing that would keep his stool solid was all provide turkey. I have no idea why. Don't ask me why the all provide turkey is what works for our dogs, but it's what works for Shayna as well. And it's just, she's eating better. She's very, as a matter of fact, she's the first one done now. You know, they need variety too, except maybe not Shayna. Shayna really does best on, every time I try to give her a little variety, it ends up biting us in the butt in the middle of the night. And if you're home cooking your meals, even if you're making pup loaf, I do recommend varying your proteins, varying what you're doing, for a couple of reasons. One, just to keep the variety, keep them interested in the food, but two, to also plug any deficiencies that you might have by feeding the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out. It's not that healthy for them to eat the same thing every meal. So, Lewis does better with the all provide turkey too. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but we have the new pork. Everybody else had the new pork today, and they were pretty happy with that too. What you doing, Gabby? You're staring at me. Do you need to go out? I don't know. Okay. Hugh already went to the barn. I gotta go to the barn. Your dogs are on a hybrid liver draining, liver cheese stagnation. Yeah, perfect. Do they need to eat that every single meal? No, they can. Yeah. They get tired of it and don't want to eat it, but they'll eat primal pork when you forget to defrost. Yeah, rotate through. And the primal pork would be fine to rotate in with that. So, and even if you're feeding all provide, I'd recommend, if your dogs can tolerate, rotating proteins, because their recipes are interesting. They're all different. They have different vegetables, different ingredients in them. Whereas a lot of companies, if you look at their different flavors, the meat at the beginning might be different. So it might be turkey or chicken. And once you get past the protein, the rest of the recipe is exactly the same for every flavor. And that's one of the things I like about All Provide is the recipes are not the same, you know, beginning to end, except for the protein. They actually have different veggies. Like the pork has beets in it, so it's bright red. And Dennis was a little worried about that when he first made it. He said, yeah, their stool's going to look red and everything's going to look red. Do you think that's a problem? I said, no, the dogs love it. It's really good. Great blood tonic, let me tell you. So, okay, you added Answers Turkey. They're excited about the change. Yeah, I mean, just something different. These guys, they had... well, I know what it was. Before our All Provide came, I had some Answers straight pork in the freezer, and I thawed that out. And I mixed, because it's a straight, it's not their detailed formula that's complete. So I mixed the straight pork with Paradigm, Dr. Herbert's Paradigm. And oh my gosh, they went to town. Absolutely loved it. And so you guys probably saw that I posted George and Stewie playing last night. They're at it again. These guys have never played in, I don't know, how long have we had Stewie? 3 years? They've never played. George loves to play, but Stewie would never play with him. What's going on? Last night I had to separate them because they played so hard that I thought Stewie was going to have a heart attack. George's tongue was bright red and hanging down to his knees. They're nuts. They're not. They're obviously feeling good. Okay. Raw turkey and rabbit. I also add vitamins and supplements. Coming that time of year. What do you recommend for heartworm? I get my dogs tested every year. Use essential oils with them. That's up to you. It depends where you live. Our dogs haven't had heartworm preventative in 5 years. Don't know what I'm going to do this year. But I do test them every year. We'll see. Supporters I'm going to post we're going to do tomorrow night. Everybody have a wonderful day. Yeah, cool weather, nice weather. I don't know what is making them crazy, but they are. Come on. Hello. Well, maybe we're going to get music. There we go. My computer's being a little weird these days. Well, it's going to give you the beginning again. Maybe. It's not going to do anything. I don't know. Okay, I can't get music, so everybody have a wonderful day.